Great change comes from doing the right thing, like the radical idea that health isn't an industry, it's a cause. So we do things differently. We combine care and coverage, which makes us rebels with one cause, your health.
Hi, this is Phil Brock, and we're on Brock on Your Block. We're at the terminus of the light rail station at 4th and Colorado. Here's an interview with LA County Supervisor Don Knabe. I'm here with Supervisor Don Knabe from the South Bay. You're the
South Bay, Long Beach. I have it's like a big check mark from the airport all the way down the coastline, all the way through both ports of Long Beach, all the way out to Diamond Bar plus Catalina Island.
And we already talked about the fact that you're retiring soon from county supervisors, but not retiring from life.
Absolutely not. I sort of like the Energizer, buddy. I've been going pretty hard and fast for the last 34 years. I'm looking at doing different things, but, I'm ready for retirement.
What were the effects of the Blue Line in your district?
Oh, they were dramatic. I think the big thing we learned from the Blue Line, like on this line that we're doing right now today, all the way out here, is some of the safety issues. I told someone else as it relates to access for emergency vehicles, the good news is the Blue Line is very accessible. The bad news is it's very accessible. You can't stop suicides, okay? And we've had a lot of that in the Blue Line. But as far as crossings and overcrossings and things like that, we've learned a lot that will really benefit the additional light rail that we have above ground.
Because Santa Monica residents are obviously concerned about our last three stops, which are at surface, which a lot of the Blue Line in Long Beach is.
Yeah, and I think, and again, it all boils down to common sense. I mean, tonnage always wins, right? And people do some foolish thing and take some foolish chances. I can never understand the person in the car that thinks they can beat a train. I mean, I don't see any upside. I always see is downside. So I think good common sense and good safety habits and just being alert. I mean, I think our headphones are presenting a problem too. So, but I mean, where we put them and how we put them and the gates to and from have changed dramatically from
now in Santa Monica. We have no gates on the last 5 intersections.
That'll be a test. But I think if I felt the ride correctly, the speed is dramatically slower towards the end of this ride, and I think that will help as well too. And we have the ability to stop the trains and do that kind of thing. But I just think it's good safety practice.
So the connectivity, being able to go now from the foot of Santa Monica, really, if you want to go through downtown LA to the foot of Long Beach, will help connect LA.
Oh, absolutely. You can go from here down all the way down to Long Beach, or here if you want to go north and all the way out towards Azusa. Great.
And my mother rode the Red Line, used to pick it up at Santa Monica Pier and go to the Palladium in Hollywood for dancing before I was born. She always felt it was a wonderful transportation option that she was sad we got rid of.
Well, I can just tell you how much money we could have saved had we still had the right-of-ways from the old red car. I mean, I'm not a native. My wife is. I'm born and raised in Long Beach, and her family, my father-in-law and mother-in-law tell stories about the red car, how they used to get around with it as well, too. But the saddest thing about that is not that, red cars go away, technology changes, but what we lost was the trade-off on the right-of-ways. We had to buy all that back. And if you stop and look at what the plan is, we're buying a lot of old red car right-of-way back, and it's very, very expensive in these days. So it's sort of sad, but it is what it is, and we're here and we're moving forward.
And as a county supervisor, you have one of the largest budgets, and sometimes you're the most under-the-radar governing body in Southern California. Tell me about, we talked briefly on the train off camera about the homelessness in Los Angeles and what you're doing as county supervisors to combat that. Is there any glint of hope on the horizon?
Well, you always want to think there's hope. My first comment would be, I think everyone has to understand you cannot spend your way out of homelessness. It's a very complicated issue, one that's very labor intensive, and the homeless population, you just don't offer them 3 hots and a cot and they'll move for you. They won't. I mean, it's a population that has a large contingent of mentally ill folks. people that have got drug abuse issue, addiction issues of all different kinds. That has to be treated. That has to be part of this whole solution. And so, and we have to have some leverage to be able to treat that. If you got time, I'll give you a quick example. I was working, I got a call from a council member in the city of Los Angeles on an issue, and we put a team together. They were right downtown in one of us in the city of LA, not LA, but like San Pedro area. We sent a team out there, a coordinated team. There were 4 people. When the team arrived, the first one of the few homeless persons ran immediately and said, I'm gonna go find someplace. The other 3, we convinced them to deal with us, and by the time they got everything, they ran away too. And we found them a few blocks up the road and got 2 of them into treatment. So it's just not.
Well, 50% isn't bad.
I know, but if we can deal it that way. But I mean, the point being, what you and I talked about also is affordable housing and set-aside housing. It's not warehousing. That won't work. So I don't know how we find the numbers that we need. You and I talked about large buildings, old hotels have possibilities. But other than that, it's 30 units here, 40 units here, 60 units here, the kinds of things that we're doing for veterans down at the villages.
And the VA, I hope, is finally starting to step up, which will help our homeless situation in LA County.
It will help it dramatically. But I think the other piece is that, the county stepped forward because that is a population that we deal with on the entitlement side. So it's not just building a house or putting someone up. It's still the food stamps, the treatment, all those kinds of things. So it's not just, a lot of people when you talk to them, and I understand, they see all these tents along and they say, well, can't you just clean them up and put them someplace? Well, I wish it was that easy, but unfortunately it's not.
And I have one final question for you. As I told you already, I'm the chair of the Parks Commission here in the city of Santa Monica. I know the county has just finished a parks assessment report, and they'll be here in Santa Monica to present the local version. My question is, how are we doing on parks as a county, and do we have need for more parks? I can tell you in Santa Monica we do. We have 1.45 acres of parkland per 1,000 residents. We're way under the county, the average. Tell me what the county can do to help us.
Well, I think, obviously parks are a very quality of life kinds of issue, but it's sort of an extra when it competes with homelessness and when it competes with food stamps and all the other kinds of things. Parks are a very vital point. I mean, I see my district and I see a lot of large parks, and I know that the people, they're always packed, and people come from very small apartments. It's their only open space that they get to see or do. So I think it's been extremely important. I mean, and it's not just a park facility, it's trails, it's golf courses, it's tennis courts, it's basketball courts, it's bikeways. I mean, all that comes together. And and we've done a lot with the old parks bond issue, and I think it needs to move forward. I mean,
we were helped in Santa Monica with that old parks bond issue, and that helped us upgrade many of our facilities as well. And it is a wellness issue, and it is an obesity issue, and in Santa Monica, 70% of our citizens live in apartments.
Well, and that's the kind, and they probably benefit most from park-like situations, the people that live in apartments, because they just don't have the open space to the backyard to go to, or let their kids run or dog run, or those kinds of things. But one of the things that I've done with a lot of the park bond money is take a lot of the top of the pot money and divide it up evenly amongst my cities and let them decide what they need to do with it. And there's been a lot in my 27 cities. The enhancements for their parks and trailways and things like that have been dramatic because of the park bond.
I just wanted to mention something. You just said you have 27 cities in your supervisorial district. That's amazing.
Yeah, it is. I think Mike and I have the most cities of the 88. I have 27. Mike has the most square miles, but I think I have the most cities.
Well, I wish you the best of luck in pseudo-retirement for you.
It's not going to be real retirement, but, being able to make your own decisions. My wife and I want to do some travel. We haven't really had an opportunity to take vacations over the last 20 years, so we're looking forward to it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for all you do.
Thank you. And we hope you've enjoyed this segment of Brock on Your Block. Stay tuned next time for another great episode. Wow, it was fun being on the Expo today.